Good morning and welcome to the Morning Scoop for Friday, August 21st. This is your daily Buckeye fix. I'm Tom Orr. The Big Ten has spent the last week stumbling all over itself in its decision to scrap the 2020 fall football season, and today is the day that some of those frustrations that have been simmering since last Tuesday could finally come to a boil. Families of Big Ten players are expected to hold a protest outside the conference offices in suburban Chicago today. Buckeye Scoop's Marc Givler and Tony Gerdeman will be there to see it in person. I have spent a whole bunch of time talking to Tony this week, so Marc is the one who's going to join me right now. Marc, what are you expecting when you get to the conference offices today?
I don't know what to expect, would be my honest answer. I've talked to a couple of the parents here that are going to be here, and um, the impression is 75 to 100 parents might be here in the morning. And if that's actually the turnout, it's going to be interesting. I think they're going to have to answer that. If it turns out that there's only about a dozen or 2 dozen parents here, they might be able to ignore those guys for a few hours and kind of try and let it blow over. But if that 75 to 100 number comes to fruition, I mean that's going to be tough to ignore. I think it's we're right next to the building right now. Actually, we're at a hotel right next door, and it's not that big of a courtyard or whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's not that big of an area. So if there's 100 people outside this building tomorrow morning, I think someone's going to have to come out and at least address them. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not sure what to expect.
Yeah, I mean, Commissioner Kevin Warren has, by all accounts, been working from home in Minnesota throughout this whole thing, and there has been some question as to whether there's anyone at the Big Ten office on typical days. But yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, given the amount of notice they've had on this, and potentially the scope of this, it sure seems like it would be in the league's best interest to, kind of take a step back from what they've been doing the last week and hiding under the covers and come out and address this directly in some way today.
You would think, but they do we have the confidence in this group to do the right thing and to make the right decision? I mean, I think we've kind of seen a real lack of decision making and leadership the last week or two, and or even longer than that. But so you're almost expecting whatever you think would be a poorly handled situation tomorrow. You're almost expecting that at this point, because just from the past track record we've seen the last week or two.
Well, what are the families looking for today? I mean, it doesn't seem real likely that the Big Ten is just going to say, okay, we're going to give you what you want, and the season's back on, and okay, Ohio State, you're playing it at Illinois in 2 weeks. Like that's not how this is going to shake out. So, what are the families looking for? What does a win look like for the families today?
I mean, I think first of all they want something that isn't so vague. Oh, we went on the science or the medical advice. Well, explain that. Have someone who was involved in that decision making process from the medical side. Have a doctor explain something to them. Give them some type of guidance moving forward. What do the next 3 or 4 months look like for them and their sons? I mean, are they practicing? Are they not practicing? Are there going to be some opportunities in pads? Are there not going to be opportunities in pads? Why, ultimately, why wasn't this up to the individual schools to play or not play? Why wasn't this up to why weren't the players listened to? Why weren't the coaches listened to more? I mean, I just think there's so many questions right now. And I think that the vagueness of the answers that have been given the last week or so are driving these people crazy. And I think they want some real answers backed up by, some real comments from doctors, not just, oh, we trusted the doctors. Well, why did you trust the doctors? What did they say? What pause were you given by the doctors to not go through with this? I just think they're looking for specifics.
Well, last night, as you guys were driving to Chicago, an attorney representing the Nebraska Parents Group sent a letter to the Big Ten asking for the league to produce all documents released pertaining to all votes about whether to play, cancel, delay, any of those, whatever votes they had about playing, canceling, delaying, all documents related to that, all meeting minutes, video, and audio recordings of those meetings. And oh man, I can't imagine that there's a video recording or an audio recording, but oh man, would that be exciting if there was a video or audio recording of this meeting. All conference rules and bylaws about how this is supposed to get decided, and all medical information considered while making the decision. I mean, I guess the legal scholars of Twitter.com have been a little bit divided about how likely it is that they will actually be able to, force the conference to cough up all that information. They want it by, I think, sometime next week. So, but one way or the other, it doesn't seem like this is all going to be done, after today. This protest is not necessarily the end of the story. So this is going to be really interesting to see how the league responds to this, because it's just this could go so many different ways today, which is what really makes this intriguing to me. Are there people outside an empty building and they get bored after 2 hours and leave, or they just go, this is pointless, and leave? I mean, the visuals there, right or wrong, would make it look like the conference is hiding. And does Kevin Warren or some other high-ranking member of the conference show up? And, does this go well? Does this get heated? This is just a day that could go so many different ways. And that's genuinely intriguing to me. Give me a prediction. What happens today? What does, since the Big Ten has been so extremely predictable and rational in all of its decisions, how does today go, Mark? What are you expecting?
You're asking me, can we have like a no predictions rule for the year 2020 at this point? I mean, I don't. I think we get close to that 75 to 100 number of parents, and I think there's a real chance they either get ghosted or someone just kind of comes out and says, no one's here to talk. No one's here that can answer your questions right now. That's my guess. Which sounds ridiculous, because if that's what I think is going to happen, why am I sitting here in a hotel room about to go over to the Big Ten offices and check this out? But they've hid for a week. They've hid for a week and a half. I mean, they're going to come out of hiding to a group of people. They ultimately, this may sound cold, but they don't answer to the parents. So they've been vague, and they've hidden from the people that they actually answer to the last week or two, and now they're going to answer the bell. I'm not so sure they are. So we'll see.
Yeah, this is going to be really intriguing, because I mean, one way or the other, even if no one from the Big Ten comes out, number one, the visuals on that are not going to be great. That's that's I'm sure they don't really want to come out, but boy, the visuals of the closed and locked, curtain drawn Big Ten office with angry parents outside, that is not going to play well on video. And the other thing is, this has now gotten to the point where they have mismanaged this for more than a week, and now you literally have angry people on your doorstep. And even if you don't answer the doorbell when they ring it, there's a whole bunch of reporters out there who are now going to get to talk to all those angry people, and they've all helpfully assembled in one place. So this is definitely not going to be the end of this story. Mark, thank you for joining us. Appreciate you taking the time after a long traffic-filled drive to Chicago to join us and fill us in. Mark and Tony will be there today for whatever the heck happens. I am, as I said, genuinely interested in seeing how this all plays out. You can find all of their reporting at BuckeyeScoop.com, in addition to all of the other great reporting and insider analysis from our staff. Also, make sure you search Buckeye Scoop on your podcast app of choice. Mark and Bill Green just dropped a fantastic new episode of the Gives in the Bank podcast on Thursday, talking about five-star receiver Emeka Egbuka and defensive end recruiting. Tony and I released an hour-long deep dive on Kevin Warren's letter and why it didn't solve the issues the conference clearly was hoping it would. That was the Buckeye Weekly podcast. And Kirk Barton has had two legendary linebackers on his Scoop World Order podcast this week, separate episodes with James Laurinaitis and Anthony Schlegel. You can find all of those by searching Buckeye Scoop on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, SoundCloud, your podcast platform of choice. While you're there, please leave us a 5-star rating and review. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you check out BuckeyeScoop.com today. I think it's going to be an interesting day. And then have a great weekend. We will talk to you on Monday.